Hi, and in this edition of Practice Up, we are going to find out, is there an antidote to loneliness? And if so, what is the best one? We're going to ask the question, if I'm lonely, can I take something for that? And you might be interested in what the literature says about that. We're going to find out, can you assess somebody's well-being? And if so, what are the best treatments for increasing somebody's well-being? And finally, we're going to find out, if you increase somebody's happiness, does their health improve also? Well, let's take a look and find out in this edition of Practice Up. But what I wanted to do is pull out specific things in here in order to help augment what was in the interview. So let's take a look. Eudaimonic well-being, giving for a bigger purpose, living for something else bigger than yourself, was associated with decreased expression in the previously defined conserved transcriptional response to adversity that he coined, transcriptome profile involving elevated expression of pro-inflammatory genes, more inflammation, reduced expression of genes involved in antibody synthesis, and type 1 interferon antiviral processes. Now, in contrast, hedonic well-being, or hedonic, was associated with an upregulation of that. So you already know this, but if this is the first time seeing this information, living your life with a purpose, with a meaning for a greater good than yourself, you tend to have lower inflammation, more antibodies, greater interferon, greater antiviral response, better at fighting off infection. If you live hedonically for yourself, pleasure-seeking behaviors, food and selfies and likes on Facebook, or having people think that you're great, stealing somebody's study and posting it as your own, ended up with more inflammation. So I guess people get what's coming to them. More inflammation, less protection against viruses and different types of infections. Now, it goes on. It says these opposing transcriptome profiles emerge. Now this is, again, I'm making all this clinical. Despite the fact that hedonic and eudaimonic well-being were experienced similarly at the level of conscious affect. What does that mean? It means the conscious affect, the affect emotions that you're aware of, that on the surface, eudaimonic and hedonic appeared happy. And these are two ways of being happy. It's two pursuits of happiness. And it says they showed comparably strong positive relationships to total well-being. What does this mean? Somebody that has hedonic happiness pursuits may look happy on the outside. Once again, flipping their hair back, laughing all the time, smiling all the time, rainbows, roses, unicorns, pixie dust coming out of their butt, or whatever is going on. They appear to be happy. They think that they're happy. And it was inverse relationships to depressive symptoms. Well, of course, somebody that's bouncing around like that's not going to appear to be depressed or probably report to be depressed. But the point of this is that the purpose, the way, the means that somebody is doing this dictated that either pro-inflammatory or sort of anti-inflammatory genetic profile. And on the surface, they may not appear to be sad, lonely, or upset, or depressed. All right, so clinical insight. Whether somebody is hedonically happy or eudaimonically happy may not appear differently externally. So this is why using validated questionnaires, which we'll get into, can be helpful in discerning who these people are. Internally, however, may result from different transcription profiles and thus overall health and well-being, which is really important. And people are coming to us to be healthy. And it's up to us to try to help them be healthy. And if we see somebody doing something that's unhealthy for their well-being, even at the genomic level, then perhaps we need to intervene. So what is one of the greatest antidotes for loneliness? Well,